Hi guys, Darth Deuces here with another video, and today we are doing another episode of Toy Talk. This is episode 3, and we're going to talk about Mezco figures. I'm going to talk about just, I guess, why I like this line, I guess why other people like this line, because it's quickly become, I only started collecting it in the beginning of 2018, so a year and a half at this point, and it's quickly become one of my favorite lines to collect, especially in terms of, I guess, high-end quality figures, because these are definitely not your just average go into Walmart and purchase figures. These are high-end collectible figures. And what makes them appealing to me, and what are the arguments against them and all that jazz. And this is my whole collection right here. I have 8 figures, which I am extremely lucky and happy to have even this much, because these things are not cheap. But I have gotten some for less than retail, which I've been lucky to do. So, yeah, if you're not familiar with what Mezco figures are, but I'm sure you are, they're 1/12 scale, 6-inch scale action figures produced by Mezco Toys, which are essentially 6-inch figures that utilize fully fabric or close to fully fabric outfits instead of just having sculpted detail for the most part. So in some sense, they're kind of like scaled down Hot Toys. Not quite, but they're pretty similar, I will say, to that. Another gimmick, I guess you could say, of the Mezco line is that many of their figures, they are designs are inspired by the source material, but Mezco will often take liberties with the design. It depends on the figure and the character, but in many cases they take liberties with the design, which I also really like as well. It gives their own spin on the character, as long as it doesn't look too ridiculous. I think it's pretty cool. And now, like I was saying, one of the big things with Mezco is the soft goods. I really like it. It adds a sort of feel of quality to it, and it does make them maybe a little more fragile per se, but pretty much every Mezco figure I have, these soft goods have really felt high quality and not like they're going to completely get demolished over time or anything like that. But that's definitely one of the criticisms to the figures, is the damaging of the soft goods, and also just the soft goods don't work at this scale. Obviously people are welcome to their opinion, but I really disagree with the soft goods don't work at this scale. I think it definitely depends on the figure and character. Mezco definitely drops the ball on a few figures, but I say for the most part every figure usually looks really good as soft goods. Couple examples. Go over here to Black Adam. I think is one of the best figures to utilize soft goods. The cape is really nice. The bodysuit fits extremely well, and it translates very well with the plastic parts of his costume, which aren't many, but the boots and the little gauntlet cuffs are plastic as opposed to the rest of the suit, but they look proper because those parts aren't going to be fabric anyways, so I think that works really well. Same with Batman here, another figure where this fabric suit looks really good, and it translates well when it goes into the plastic parts of his gauntlets, boots, and other pieces, which I think again looks really good. And like same with Joker here. Now there are some figures that don't do it quite as well. One of the big ones is the Reverse Flash here, which is actually the first figure I picked up. It's a really great figure. I really like it, but it's one of the figures where I don't fully understand the use of soft goods, because the gloves and the mask and the boots are technically all supposed to be one. The whole costume is supposed to be one piece, or that's how it's usually drawn in the comics at any rate. But here you have the main body is in the fabric, but your hands and your boots and your mask or your cowl is actually different, which you could just chalk down to being Mezco's design for the character. I don't love it. The figure looks great, but it's a little weird. So I'll give people that in the criticism. These figures are also decently articulated, but by no means are super articulated. Like, you can get your dynamic poses, like I got Blade here in a pretty dynamic pose. Deadpool there, which is actually one of the harder ones to pose because of the costume, poses really well. The other ones aren't really in that many dynamic poses, but there definitely is an argument for the posability of these guys. They are good. They have enough posability to satisfy what I want to do with them, but people who would like to do crazy poses aren't going to like these as much, because you don't want to force the fabric too much, and some of the figures just literally don't have the joints people might want them to have. there are some figures like this Joker here that only have single hinge elbows and basically only get 90 degrees, more or less. It gets a little bit more, I think, but you kind of get what I'm saying there. One other thing that I love about Mezco figures, though, again, another big attraction for me, I love accessories with my figures, and Mezco almost always delivers with the accessories. I think the only figure they really don't, and I have a problem with, is Black Adam. As much as an awesome figure that is, he could have came with a few more things. But aside from that, these figures come with so much stuff, like Reverse Flash comes with the little Cyclone hand, he comes with all those Speed Force effects. Iron Man comes with a bunch of repulsor effects and weapons that shoot out of his suit, which is awesome, as well as incorporates LEDs. Some more of the current recent figures are incorporating LEDs, which is really cool. Really like that, because I don't own many figures that actually have LEDs, so that's really cool. Deadpool, comes with a lot of stuff. Blade comes with his vampire hunting weapons, his sword. He comes with 2 guns, and you get the muzzle flash effects with him as well, which is insanely cool. This Deathstroke comes with a ton of guns. This Batman comes with a ton of gadgets and accessories. So does Joker. Like, they just go above and beyond, usually with the accessories, which is really awesome, and I really like that. Now, like I said, these are, premium figures, I will say, higher-end collector figures. They generally retail, or in Canada, they retail around $104 to like $120, depending on what Mezco figure you're picking up. In the States, they retail at around $80. Some are a bit more, depending on what they have incorporated into them. Like, I think Iron Man's a bit more because he has die-cast and LED parts. Not Deathstroke. Even though this Deathstroke was more expensive. The Dark Side they released was a lot more expensive because it was made a bigger figure and also made of polystone and had LEDs and all that jazz, so that was going to be really expensive. But aside from that, the price isn't awful. I guess $100 is significant to spend on a figure, so it's definitely, you have to decide if you really want to, I guess, jump down that rabbit hole, I suppose. But if you do look online on Amazon and whatnot, you can run into deals. I got Blade for $70 Canadian, so that's even less than USD. That was a really, really good deal, because this figure, I'd say, is one of my favorite Mezcos, and probably one of Mezco's best. It's an absolutely awesome figure. I got Deadpool for $50, because unfortunately, because the collectible shop was going under, and they had a 50% off sale. So that's a really special situation, but still, looking around, you can get your Mezco figures cheaper. And I got that Reverse Flash for like $65 Canadian. And at that price, jumping in to the line wasn't too big a deal. If it wasn't my thing, then it wasn't a super big deal. But you can get these figures for decent prices if you look. But on the flip side, they are also hard to get. They don't produce a ton. Mezco doesn't produce a ton of these figures. And a lot of times, if you don't pre-order the figures, they can be pretty difficult to pick up. And they can hike up in price pretty quickly on the secondary market, because Mezco, as far as I know, has never re-released a figure. They've made multiple versions of the figure. Like Iron Man has 2 other versions. I think he has the Marvel Now version, and he's got the Stealth version. Blade here has a con exclusive, I think. Deathstroke, this is the exclusive. There's another version, the standard version. Batman has 2 other versions. Deadpool has 2 other versions. So sometimes there's different versions. You can get a version of the character, but maybe not the version you want. But these figures can go up in price pretty quickly, and can be difficult to pick up, which is a valid criticism of the line, and I also share that. It can be annoying to have to track down these figures sometimes. I guess lastly, in terms of my favorites that I have in my collection, just to rank them real quick, I'd say Reverse Flash is my least favorite, and I hate saying that because I really like that figure, and I really like every single figure, keep that in mind. But it just is a weird choice to do soft goods with. And yeah, there's not much else to say about it, but he is really cool. And my second least favorite at like 7, which I hate to say, is Black Adam, because it looks fantastic, but I had to buy those extra lightning effects. Those are the Tamashi Thunder effects, because he doesn't come with a ton of accessories. At the very least, he should have came with an alternate head. He just kind of has a stoic face, and I wish he would have had a yelling face for his Shazam posing, but it is what it is. It's not the biggest deal, but that's what ranks him low on my list. And then next is the Deadpool, which is a really awesome figure. It's my favorite Deadpool that I own. Articulates well, has a lot of accessories, quite expressive. The only thing I don't like is because of the black vinyl-y material that is part of the black parts on his suit are quite stiff and makes it pretty stiff to move some parts, especially the shoulders, which is a bit of a pain. And then next, I would probably... It's hard, really hard. I'm gonna say Joker. It's really a hard toss-up between Iron Man and Joker. I'm gonna go with Joker. He looks great. It's just not my favorite look for Joker, but I still really like how it looks. And again, it comes with tons of accessories, which I love. And then Iron Man. This figure's fantastic. Articulation's good. I guess not super articulated, but it's good. Paint looks really great. The die cast gives him heft and makes the figure shine and look really good. Tons of accessories. The LED arc reactor is awesome as well. It's just a really great figure. I really like the Iron Man. Then the Sovereign Batman, just posing really good. Soft goods and the costume all done really well, and it comes with a ton of accessories, interchangeable heads that I absolutely love. Blade, because looks awesome, poses well. Love the wired trench coat. It looks fantastic, great for posing, and comes with, again, a ton of accessories, different guns, effects, and weapons for killing vampires. Just so cool. And my favorite one is Deathstroke. This is a lot of people's favorites. It's just a really, really solid Deathstroke. Probably one of the best Deathstroke figures you can get. Good articulation, a ton of accessories. It doesn't come with the blast effect, that's from Blade. But aside from that, it comes with a ton of guns. Looks really great. I actually prefer this look over the standard release, and just prefer this release in general because it comes with more weapons. Interchangeable head, unmasked head, and all that. Just absolutely fantastic. Overall, I really like Mezco figures. I think they are one of the best figures you can get your hands on, but I also completely understand why people don't like this line of figures either, or are hesitant to get into it. But if you're thinking about getting into it, I highly recommend it, especially picking out like the Batman or something. Like the Batman you can still get for retail price, and I think he's a great jumping in point. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching and joining me for another Toy Talk. Let me know what your thoughts on the Mezco line are. I always love hearing your guys' opinions. The point of the Toy Talk is to start discussion. So let me know what you think. And again, thanks for watching. I will see you all in the next video.